Does that make any sense?
Well, what I just read to you there, basically, it screams eugenics at me, Stuart. It just screams at me, you know. And if it's anything to do with eugenics, I think it's the wrong way to go ahead. Because of, you know.
Well, so do I. Yes.
Because at the end of the day, these people is banging on about eugenics. You know, if you turn around and says to them, "Well, give me your first and second child in, and we'll do away with them," how would they feel?
Yeah, I don't think that that's at all the way to go, and you know, I don't support eugenics in any way whatsoever. But you're talking about, I mean, eugenics essentially is the control of the many by the few, and that's what this whole system is about. It's about putting the power in the hands of the people so that that cannot happen.
So when we spoke the other day there, he spoke about the things that he would be offering to the Shetland Islands would be lower taxes and low fuel prices and all that kind of stuff. Particularly the low fuel prices. How would you get the fuel companies to supply you with cheaper fuel than what's mainstream?
It's not a question of asking the fuel companies. It's 70% of the cost of the petrol is the tax. You can't reasonably control the market price of the oil, but you can certainly control the tax that's paid on it.
Right, so this is why you're saying then the lower taxes as well then?
Oh yeah.
Right. So how's the idea taken in the Shetland Islands? Is people receptive to it? What's happening? Is they say they're going for the carrot?
It's early days yet. I mean, this was our first head above the parapet, if you like, on Monday, to let people know that there is the possibility to actually make change. I've been working on the historical and constitutional position for about 8 or 9 years, but just working away with a few helpers. This was our first offer, if you like, to the Shetland public, that there is an alternative way to go. Shetland is one of the richest local authorities, and people here are generally very comfortable, so there's little impetus for change, and much of the working population works for the local authorities, so that in itself makes for inertia. But I think that Shetland has the opportunity and possibly the duty to take on those forces which want to direct the world in a different direction, or continue directed in the same direction it's going now. I think Shetland has the opportunity and the possibility to make the change into a different paradigm.
How much revenue does the Shetland Islands actually produce? I mean, how much money do they actually put into the economy?
The latest figures I've got, 2003, when we paid into the UK Treasury £200 million. And you would think that a little set of islands out here in the middle of the Atlantic, right on the periphery, would be a net recipient of the grant, tax and subsidy merry-go-round. But in fact, we paid out £200 million and got back £100 million in grants and subsidies. It's difficult for other areas of the UK to actually put a figure on those, put an amount on those figures, but because we are geographically separate, those figures actually exist for Shetland, so it's easier for us to actually see what's going on. But we are a net contributor, and as I said, that £100 million that we pay and never comes back, and it goes to pay for things like the war in Iraq and Iran and anything else that the government things it wants to do.
So, the people that's in the Shetland Islands, you're telling me then that the majority of them are wealthy and comfortable. Quite a fair amount of them actually work for the local council. So
I wouldn't say they're wealthy. I mean, there are wealthy people here, but
comfortable.
Comfortable, yes, that would be the word for it.
So how difficult a job do you think it's going to be to actually get them to turn round then?
Oh, quite difficult. Quite difficult. I don't underestimate the task. And you can hear me talking with a posh voice. I'm a pensioner. I just live on the pension, but I can't help my voice, I'm afraid. But I'm not one of the wealthy, or most people would even say comfortable. It's just that I've done a little bit of homework. But it does make things difficult, because until there is some kind of discomfort, then there's nothing for people to react against. But I think that's going to come fairly soon with the strictures that the whole country is facing as a result of what the bankers did.
Okay. With yourself coming from, where is it you originally come from, Stuart?
I was born in Bromley, in Kent.
So how does the people react to, because I know that, are these places cliquey? The Shetland Islands, are they cliquey?
Very much.
Right, so how do these people affect, how do
they don't like being told what to do, and I don't try and tell them what to do, but I do get that accusation that I'm trying to tell people what to do here. I'm very fond of Shetland, and what I'm trying to do is to say, right, well, here's a door, here's how to open it if you want to, and if you want to walk through, well, that's fine. If not, my job's done. But I'm not trying to tell anyone what to do, but I think that Shetland's history offers that opportunity to do something if they want to do it.
Okay, well, your own thing that you've done is the island of Forvik, is that what you named it, or is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's right.
So how's that going?
Forvik.com.
You still building? What are you doing?
To be honest, I've not been on the island this year because I've been concentrating on what's been going on the mainland. But last year I built a house on there without asking for planning permission. I stopped paying my VAT and income tax. I put a vehicle on the road with Forvik number plates and Forvik tax disc. And as I said earlier, the authorities have just gone out of their way not to confront me about any of this. The planning people ignored the house. The VAT people, who everybody said don't ever mess with them because they've got such power, they'll do what they like. I handed them a letter when the sheriff's officer came round. I said, I don't recognise you or the court. When you tell me when Shetland became part of Scotland, I'll pay the bill. That was 2008 in July, and never seen them since.
It's never
not on that particular matter, anyway.
It's never actually been claimed, has it? Is it no right that the Shetland people actually consider themselves to be more connected to Norway than they do to Scotland?
Yes, that's where many people here trace their roots to, and that's where they, that's not quite home, but that's the direction they look rather than to Scotland for their heritage. I found it a very strange place when I came here. It was very foreign, not at all like Scotland at all. Strange language you'd see in the shops and completely unintelligible to me. But it's because they look to Scandinavia rather than Scotland for their roots.
See, when you talk about, taking back the sovereignty for